So a bill was just passed today that saved the United States government from a shutdown. That's the good news. The bad news is this bill that was passed today could actually send the United States into complete chaos over the next couple of months. So I want to address what's going on there, what bill was just passed today, and why this could mean trouble for the American people moving forward. All I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So how in the world could a bill save the United States but also send us into complete chaos? Well, that's what I'm going to address. But first, you need to understand what the bill is. And then I will tell you why this is troubling for millions and millions of Americans. But let's look at the bill. So it says right here, Congress passes a stopgap bill to prevent a shutdown until March, sending it to President Biden. Now, what happened earlier on today, which actually Congress had until tomorrow to pass this bill. However, Congress wants to get out of town for the weekend so they are not stuck in Washington because of this upcoming storm. So right now, here's what we know. It says the legislation keeps the government open on a short-term basis until March 1st, when the first of the 2 funding deadlines will hit. The second will be on March 8th. So what essentially happened is, right now, lawmakers agreed. It was actually 77 to 18 in the Senate, and it was 314 yeses to 108 noes in the House of Representatives. Now, the important thing to note is it was 314 yeses against 108 noes in the House of Representatives. And I want to explain why, okay? I want to read you this. It says the bill would extend the 2-part government funding deadlines from January 19th to March 1st and from February 2nd to March 8th. The funding bill is unrelated to negotiations surrounding an immigration and national security supplemental bill that would provide aid to Ukraine and Israel. Okay? Now, here's where things get, well, somewhat tricky. Let me show you this. It says House votes to avoid government shutdown after Speaker Johnson bucks the GOP rebels. This is the group of people that we are concerned with at this time. Here's the reason why. Speaker Mike Johnson just helped pass a bill that, according to many GOP hardliners, they say it's not enough. We're not reducing spending enough, and we're giving in to Democratic demands, which these GOP hardliners say, if we are going to go through this rough situation and this difficult time, we might as well shut down now as opposed to closer to the election of 2024. Well, here's the problem. And I want to show you this one as well. It says Speaker Johnson can absolutely expect to be toppled if he keeps caving, according to GOP lawmaker. They are warning that he will get rolled just like they always do. Okay? Now, what do they mean by that? Well, here's what you need to keep in mind. In the previous Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, he was ousted as the Speaker because he did not do enough for the Republican Party. He was agreeing to things that President Biden wanted and what Democrats wanted because he knew it couldn't be a partisan bill. It had to be a bipartisan bill where both sides agreed to that. Now, remember that number. Remember that number I just told you, that right now, the bill passed, it was 314 yeses to 108 noes. Okay? Here's the reason why that is so important. It is because, as of right now, there's a chance Speaker Mike Johnson could be ousted as the Speaker. Remember, he is the replacement Speaker. He was not the one that was voted to be the Speaker in January, or last January. He was the one that was replacing Speaker Kevin McCarthy because he was trying to pass a partisan bill or a bipartisan bill. That's exactly what Speaker Mike Johnson is doing right now. So many hardline Republicans say that we should oust him as the Speaker. Here's the reason why this could throw the entire United States into chaos. Right now, he is the Speaker of the House. There was a temporary speaker before him and after Speaker Kevin McCarthy. That speaker, he's really no more. He's not going to be the Speaker of the House again, this is going to create a concern for Republicans, because right now every single Democrat in the House of Representatives, along with I believe 3 Republicans, if they all come together, they could oust Speaker Mike Johnson as the Speaker, which would then mean Republicans would have to vote and pick the next Speaker. This could be where things are very concerning, because if there's not a Speaker, we are not going to see a bill for border security. We're not going to see an immigration bill. We're not going to see a bill for Israel or a bill for Ukraine. That's not going to happen, okay? Because a temporary speaker is likely not going to pull a bill to the floor when they are just a temporary speaker, okay? Now, as far as who would the temporary speaker be if Speaker Mike Johnson got ousted, that we don't know. As the Speaker of the House, one of your first acts is to provide a list of who would be your replacement in the event that you could not do your job. We don't know who is actually on that list. Okay? So we have no clue what would happen. But this is why experts say we could now be thrown into just massive panic and chaos. Because as we lead into this presidential election of 2024, as we lead into the first few months, we're still in the first quarter of 2024. As we lead into this, we are going to have another stopgap bill or a continuing resolution, or maybe we have just the full bill. We don't know. But that still has to come, and that's going to come the first part of March. Okay, so that's an issue. That we're just kicking the can down the road. The second thing is this whole problem with the border. This is a border crisis, right? An immigration crisis. I don't know what's going to happen. All I can tell you is right now, because of this bill passing and many Republicans, saying that this did not do enough. We didn't reduce our deficit enough. We gave in to too many Democratic demands. This could actually be the end of Speaker Mike Johnson. Now, I don't know if it will. I have a feeling that they're going to continue to give him multiple chances. But this is the concern. If in the event he is ousted as the Speaker, there's a good chance no bill is going to pass. That means nothing for the border crisis, nothing for states, nothing for, there's a new bill for these expanded child tax credits, and also some stuff for businesses as well. That could be in limbo until there's a new speaker. And if you remember, Speaker Kevin McCarthy was ousted, and then 2 months later, we got a new speaker, a month and a half later. So that's part of the problem. But just wanted to fill you in on what's going on at this time, because the good news is a bill passed. The bad news is that bill that passed may throw the entire United States into chaos. So we'll see what happens moving forward. All I can tell you is I will be here every step of the way. I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. All I ask is 2 things. First, hit the like button on the video if you enjoyed today's update. The second thing is click that subscribe button so you never miss an update, and I'll see you guys on the next one.